All right, here we are. Hopefully this is the video where we get her started. Last video I kind of got it to a point where I wanted to put fluids in and get the battery hooked up and see if she'd start. That's where we're starting at today. So without any more delay, I'm pretty excited. Let's get those fluids in and see if we can get her started.
It's time!
Got any lights in there?
Have you seen the light?
Yeah.
Yes! Jesus H. goddamn Christ! I have seen the light!
Okay, just crank it over.
Crank it over?
Yeah. Go ahead. I got no leak.
Oh, you know what? I didn't put gas in.
What?
I didn't put the new gas in.
Go!
So we don't, well, we've got gas coming up here.
I know, but I didn't put new gas in.
What the fuck?
There's 4.5 gallons of gas I need to go in.
Yeah.
The reason that bad things happen to you is because you're a dumbass.
It's not leaking.
Okay.
I mean, we may be out of gas by now.
Now a word from our sponsors.
Said a couple of times I need to get the car out of the garage in preparation for something else. I thought maybe I'd just go ahead and say that something else is here.
Porsche.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
Here, I heard it gurgling. There you go.
All right. We got to be ready to take the battery cable off, okay? I don't have it real tight, but let's try to start it. I'll do it and you watch.
Holy shit. It wants to.
Okay. Not gonna start. I think we're getting spark. It tried to turn over, didn't it? Yep. Hold it. We got spark. We got spark. So what it tells me is either we've got the timing wrong
Or the wire's wrong.
or the wire's wrong.
So, all right, so been at this thing for several hours now, and we had a couple times where we're cranking, definitely got fuel to the fuel distributor, and I know that because we had leaking at this line. No, here's the fuel filter, here's the inlet from the tank. We're definitely getting fuel from the tank, meaning the fuel pump was working. This line was leaking pretty bad, and that was my fault because I ended up putting a crush washer between this fuel line and this fitting, and that apparently is not the right thing to do, and it was leaking. It didn't look like it was the right size, so we just took the crush ring out between here, cranked it down, and now this thing is running fine. In fact, it was leaking at this interface. So everything else looks like it's working fine. With getting fuel to here, we thought maybe we had a spark problem. double checked the coil, double checked the distributor cap, actually pulled the wires out with the spark plugs attached, cranked it over, definitely have spark coming out of each one of those wires.
We got spark.
So we've got air, we've got fuel. Somehow it wasn't cranking. We did hear one time, I actually heard exhaust note. Something fired somewhere. I heard something come out the back of the car, so I know that at least one of the cylinders fired. After that happened, everything just shut down. We were cranking and cranking, and it didn't even attempt to want to start. So, not sure what's going on. Consulted the Haynes manual, and it said, take a look at the airflow sensor here. In fact, there's a test that you can do to actually get a magnetic sort of prober, I don't know what I did with it, and pull up on this thing to see if there's fuel coming out of the injectors, which is probably what we'll do. We did actually pull one of these injectors out before I took this boot off the intake. We did crank it over and got nothing out of this injector. There was no spray at all coming out of that thing.
What?
So that kind of had me bewildered. We went back to the manual, and basically if you look here, there is no gap at all around this airflow sensor. It is tight all the way around this cone, and I think it says that there must be a 20 thousandths gap all the way around, and it makes sense to me that if that thing is all the way down, and because it's on a pivot and it directly controls the plunger that's in here, and as that plunger moves up and down, as this thing moves up and down, the plunger regulates how much fuel go to each one of these lines. So if this thing is down all the way with no gap, not adjusted properly, it may be the fact that this plunger is shutting off any fuel to any of those injector lines, which would in theory say that's why that we pulled this thing out and nothing was happening.
I need to just speak from the heart here. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
So I'm kind of exhausted for this day. We went at it pretty hard for several hours, just making sure that this thing wasn't going to leak. I did replace, every single fuel line that's associated with the injectors, every fuel line that's associated with either incoming fuel or this is the return, and then the lambda sensor.
Lambda.
Yeah.
Everything has been replaced and is brand new, and it looks like it's all tight. Looks like it's not leaking at the moment. So I'm gonna come hot and I'm sweaty, I'm sticky.
That's what she said.
And the battery is charging, but it's the battery that I got 3 years ago. So I'm gonna take it back to the store. I'm gonna get a new battery, and we'll attack this in another day or two after I figure out how to adjust that airflow sensor. Again, there's supposed to be a 20 thousandths gap all the way around. I'll figure out how to do that. I think there's actually just a mechanical spring that's down below that you have to bend, I think. We'll try that and keep our fingers crossed. The other thing that we determined, and again, this is, I thought I got all this stuff tightened on as I was putting this engine together, and I know I did. We were cranking and cranking, and this timing chain pulley, this nut was loose, and this belt was loose, and this tensioner wasn't tensioning.
Serious?
What the fuck?
Idiot.
So we got all of that taken care of, got this thing back to top dead center, made sure and verified that the distributor wires are all in the right order, according to the firing order. I believe it's 1432 or 1342, one of those, I forget. But we verified every single one, verified that all of these fuel lines are in the correct space or place on the fuel distributor. It's just one of those sleuthing things now, trying to figure out what's going on. We know we've got spark, we may not have air, and I'm pretty damn sure we got fuel because this thing was spurting pretty good. We got it tightened down, and brand new fuel pump. We got new gas in it. You know, one of those things. We'll get there. We'll get there. Yeah, I'll keep working.
Day 2.
Okay, you hold that up and see if we get gas. Okay? I'm holding.
You're on that cup to see if it's going to spray gas. Prime it. Anything coming out of there? I don't see anything coming out of the...
No gas?
No.
Hold it wide open.
Yeah, there's something. Yeah.
Yeah,
We got gas. We got gas. We got gas.
Some.
Got gas?
Yeah, we got gas.
There's some little bit.
Yeah, we got gas.
How much did we get?
Hold on.
A little bit.
Oh, well. Okay, now I'm going to turn it over.
I think they're all primed now.
I want you to watch it.
I think they're all primed.
Then plug it back in. We'll see if we can.
So I held it wide open, and that's when it started
That's
to go.
when it started to do it. I knew that.
A few moments later.
Okay, this could be it. This could be it.
Shit.
That's interesting. I think that's interesting. So I think that one must be firing because I'm seeing vapor coming out this way. Remember, that's the enrichment valve?
This one is.
Yeah. No, down.
Down,
There.
this one.
I think it's firing because I'm seeing vapor coming out of here. And you can smell it. Go.
Mostly Maui Wowie, man.
Yeah.
But it's got some Labrador in it.
Okay, here's where we made the most rookie of mistakes. Before you roast me in the comments, remember, I'm just a guy with a garage and some tools. While we did ensure that the camshaft was at top dead center before we installed the timing belt, we did not ensure the bottom end crank timing mark was aligned. So as we mucked about trying to figure out what was up, we ended up manually rotating the crank with the number 1 spark plug out to visually see where top dead center was, using a wooden chopstick as a guide. As it turns out, the top and bottom were almost 180 degrees out of whack. The engine had no chance of ever starting.
Come on, this is it.
There's two kinds of guys. There's the smart fillers and the fart smellers.
This has got to be it.
And we're not going to be fart smellers.
Yes! Hell yeah!
Okay, look, see if you got oil pressure.
This is temperature. But the oil dummy light is off.
It is?
Yeah, the battery's on and the oxygen sensor is on.
That means it's we may not have the battery connection on. We got the old alternator on it.
Yeah.
It may not charge this battery. I don't know. Yeah. Rev it up.
Oh, like it's definitely not.
It came off. Went off. Actually, it's working.
Okay, now it's idle slow.
It should out of what, about 650?
I always thought it was around 1,000, 1,100.
What?
I always thought it was maybe this way.
No, it has to warm up. Then it has kind of like an automatic choke on it. Okay, smoke's coming out again. Yeah,
I think so.
And they always do that. The
I mean,
headers,
I painted them too.
oh yeah, they get hot and they start burning stuff off of them.
Yeah, it smells like burning, like bread or something. I don't know.
The fuck?
And their brakes are about as spongy as it gets. So I think the braking issue is is maybe that assist, because when you second gear, baby. When you put pressure on the brakes, the engine gets a big load and it almost feels like it wants to stall, or it does stall. Yeah, there's no freaking brakes at all. I'm in second gear. Yeah, and it's making a weird noise too. I gotta look in. I don't know much about brake assist. All right, so that's the exciting run we're gonna make. Got no brakes at all.
Really?
Absolutely no brakes at all. We gotta figure that out. But it runs. It runs. No brakes at all, and the clutch is really bad.
It's decently.
Right, first run.
Okay, it's decently straight.
Yeah, so clutch is kind of wonky. As you can see, as I pulled off and I hit the brakes, something's cutting the engine out, so the engine's stalling on its own. But it does go forward, it does shift. I should have got it into second. It does reverse. I don't see any smoke coming out of the engine bay. Let's hope. Ooh, what is that?
What?
Do we have here?
What?
Oh, that's some sort of dirt. Where that? Oh, that must have come from here. Okay. All right. I don't see any leaks. Let's see if it's leaking down here. I do not see anything leaking. Got to figure out the brakes. I don't know if it's the master slave. Could be. I didn't replace it. But there's no brake pressure. Maybe we need to bleed the brakes again. But hey, first drive, at least halfway down the street.